Subscribe to After the Sirens, share this video with fellow history enthusiasts, and leave a comment with the period or survival topic you want us to cover next, because today we're diving into a subject that still holds life-saving relevance. 10 genius water hacks World War II civilians used when everything else failed is not about theory or nostalgia. It's about what ordinary people did when water systems collapsed, pipes ran dry, and survival depended on ingenuity, discipline, and hard-earned knowledge. When World War II reached civilian streets, water became as valuable as food or ammunition. Cities across Europe and Asia saw reservoirs bombed, treatment plants destroyed, and supply lines severed overnight. Civilians didn't have manuals or experts guiding them. They learned through necessity, observation, and painful trial and error. If you stay with me for the next few minutes, you'll understand not only how they survived, but how these same principles can still be applied today in modern emergencies, infrastructure failures, or long-term disruptions. Civilians learned to harvest rainwater long before it became fashionable. During the Blitz in London and the siege of Leningrad, civilians repurposed rooftops, gutters, and even bomb craters to collect rain. They understood something many modern people forget. Rainwater is often the cleanest source available during infrastructure collapse. Sheets of metal, enamel cookware, and even glass panes were angled to direct rainfall into barrels or bathtubs. The key lesson here was surface choice. Smooth, non-porous surfaces reduced contamination. Today, the same principle applies. A clean tarp, metal roof, or plastic sheet can turn a single storm into days of drinking water if collected properly and filtered. People reused domestic plumbing creatively when municipal water stopped. In bombed cities, pipes often retained trapped water long after pressure failed. Civilians drained radiators, toilet tanks, and boiler systems, carefully avoiding contaminated bowls or corroded sections. They knew the difference between potable and unsafe water within the same system. This wasn't desperation. It was technical understanding passed through communities. In modern terms, knowing how your home's plumbing works could provide dozens of litres of emergency water. The lesson is simple. Understand your infrastructure before it fails. Boiling water became, well, a disciplined routine, not just an occasional precaution. Fuel was scarce, yet civilians still boiled water daily, because, disease killed silently and quickly. Typhus and dysentery spread faster than bombs. Families scheduled boiling times, reused fuel efficiently, and stored boiled water in sealed containers. This wasn't optional. It was survival protocol. Today, even with modern filters, boiling remains the gold standard when pathogens are a concern. The World War II lesson is really consistency. Safe water practices only work when they become routine, not reactionary. Civilians use cloth filtration as a first defensive barrier. Before advanced filters, people relied on layered cloth, sand, and charcoal to remove sediment and debris. While this didn't make water safe on its own, it drastically improved boiling efficiency and taste. In Warsaw and rural China, civilians passed water through multiple layers before heating it. Modern survivalists can replicate this quite easily using fabric, gravel, and activated charcoal. The key takeaway here is that filtration is a process, not just a single step. Snow and ice were treated with caution, not blind trust. In Eastern Europe, civilians melted snow but avoided yellowed or compacted ice, knowing it concentrated contaminants. Snow was melted slowly and boiled, never eaten directly. This kind of discipline prevented dehydration and illness. The practical application today is understanding that cold environments do not guarantee clean water. Melting and purification are still, absolutely mandatory. Water storage became a form of rationing and, psychological control. Families stored water in every available container, carefully rotating supplies and, mentally labelling them by purpose. Drinking water was never, ever mixed with washing water. This separation prevented accidental contamination and, quite importantly, reduced panic. In modern preparedness, this really mirrors the concept of water zoning. Separate containers, separate uses, and strict discipline. It's all about maintaining order and safety. Civilians learn to reuse water safely through what we call cascading use. For example, water used for washing vegetables might be reused for cleaning floors, then finally flushed into gardens or latrines. This cascading approach honestly maximized every drop without risking health. The principle applies today in off-grid living and emergency scenarios. Reuse is safe when sequence and purpose are respected. Urban civilians scavenged overlooked water sources. Firefighting reservoirs, ornamental ponds, and industrial tanks were accessed cautiously. Civilians observed algae growth, insect life, and smell before deciding on treatment methods. They understood that water quality assessment began with observation. Modern survivalists can apply the same sensory evaluation before purification. Knowledge sharing, became a survival currency. Communities survived because information moved faster than fear. People shared which wells were safe, which pipes still held water, and, which methods worked. Today, community preparedness and shared knowledge remain just as critical during disasters. Discipline and respect for water ultimately determined survival. Those who treated water casually paid the price. Those who respected it survived longer and, honestly, healthier. WWII civilians understood water wasn't just a resource. It was a responsibility. Subscribe to After the Sirens, share this video with anyone serious about history or preparedness, and comment below with the next topic you want us to investigate. If this guide taught you something new, make sure it reaches others who value real history and real survival knowledge.